Hello? Tuesday, April 14th, 90 Center, Town Center, 7 o'clock, regular board meeting is called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Here. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Here.
Trustee Payton.
Here.
Trustee Griffin.
Present.
Trustee Rudez.
Here.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Here.
And Mayor Covington.
Present. Could you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Motion for the minutes on. Motion for the minutes on March. You heard it go. April 14th. Is there a motion?
So move.
Moved by Trustee Rudez, second by Trustee Griffin. Questions? Sarah? Questions? Milton Payton? Trustee Payton?
On page 6 of 9, on paragraph 2G under the village manager's report, it reads as follows: the village manager, Lanier, stated that he had no report. However, she did take questions. So, I didn't know if something had happened. Well, that should be a
I'll correct that. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Just 'cause you don't
Any other
carry
corrections? Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Unfinished business, we have none. New business, first, second, and third reading ordinance amending section 23009C, towed vehicle release fee of the code ordinance. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Griffin, second by Trustee Rudez. Any questions, concerns?
Yeah, I have a question.
Question by Trustee Payton.
Yeah, just for the audience, they're talking about increasing the towing fees. So if you're unfortunate enough to have your vehicle towed, there's currently a $20 charge for our police department in addition to the fees and the storage fees for towing the vehicle. And this ordinance wants to increase that to $50, which I think is really, uncalled for. It's a sad commentary when you have to have your vehicle towed, and then you got to pay all these fees, and then now you're increasing another fee to have your vehicle towed. So, I'm just kind of opposed to it, but I was wondering if somebody could shed a light on what is the genesis of this increase, where did it come from, and why?
Chief, you want to talk about your proposed increase for a minute?
Yes, this is not out of the realm of, it's still lower than most of the other villages in our area. And like everything else, things have gone up here in University Park, our manpower, things of that nature. We're working short of manpower right now. We're saving the village money in that respect, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but in the same respect. And we are doing things like traffic control and things like that. And most of it is people outside of the village. So we haven't increased the fees in quite a while, and it was something that was overdue.
So how many vehicles are we talking about a year, a month that get towed in this village?
We don't have those specific numbers for you tonight.
Ballpark.
But we're talking about cars that are normally towed for some illegal purposes, right? For some related to some illegal activity.
Absolutely.
So there are a lot of cars that have an illegal activity that we have to charge them every extra $30 that'll help the revenue situation here in the village?
Most of the time, many village residents could attest to, our officers are pushing cars and helping people with their cars and giving people rides home. We do a lot of that for the citizens in the village of University Park. As the manager stated, a lot of these fees are for illegal activity. That we seize the vehicles, we tow the vehicles, we need to search the vehicles, accidents, including injuries, things of that nature.
So again, my original question was, how many vehicles are we talking about? One a day, one a week, one a month, 10 a day?
It varies. It could be 10 one month, it could be 20 the next month. The activity has increased drastically right now just because of the weather alone. We have more people out driving. The weather's nice. It would increase more over the summer. So it depends.
Mayor, if no one else has got any comments, I'd make a motion to table this.
Second.
Motion to table, second by trustee Larry Brown. Roll call. Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown. Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes no.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes no to table.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye, the table.
And Mayor Covington.
Both sides of the table. Now, the vote, and I have a question before it goes again. This is just for our police department, no other company?
Correct.
Okay. I just had a phone call today, which is kind of ironic that this is here. A lady is called pleading about the towing of her vehicle. And she said she's on a fixed income, and they towed her vehicle, and she didn't have the money to pay for it because something happened to her child, and she was unable to get it, and she wants a waiver right now. So, do we make special excuses for people of that caliber in the village? Are we giving anybody a break on this? Because I understand what you're saying, but sometimes it is a burden for people that have circumstances. So these are vehicles, let me understand that these are vehicles that are hanging around or someone's just, they parked and other reasons other than criminal?
Yeah, Mayor, we make, we waive this fee on a routine basis when people call the office and say, and state their circumstances, why their car was towed. It's not uncommon for me to call the police chief and ask them to have their car given back to the individual. I think what we're really trying to capture is, automotive traffic that comes through the village for certain reasons that you really don't want in town, and when these cars are stopped and searched, or sometimes they refuse to search, and we impound these cars, we want to make it as difficult for them to get the car back as possible.
Okay, so this is specifics. The towing is based on specifics.
Yes,
It's not regular towing, like people's cars haven't been moving for a month or two, and just sitting idle, or in the driveways without a sticker, or an accident. It's just based on specifics?
Maybe the chief talked to that.
Absolutely, Mayor. And we have a lot of our citizens, not a lot, but we have several citizens that come to the police station on a regular basis with situations, personal situations, family situations, and we afford them all the courtesies that we can. And that does happen many times, some of the things that you just stated. We don't know about it when they call you or they call a trustee or somebody like that. They need to come to the station or call to the station and come up there and talk to me. As I said, we do that on a regular basis and help people out. But as a village manager stated, because of the area out here and a lot of the amenities we have for our young people, we do have a lot of people that come into this town that don't live here. And sometimes it's for reasons other than legal reasons. And this is a tool that we use a lot of the times to keep some of those people out of here, or illegal activity that is going on. Sometimes their car is confiscated. Accidents that happen out here, drugs and alcohol are involved, things of that nature.
Trustee?
Yeah, well, so is it your position that this is now a deterrent for people who come into the village? Because if they're doing something illegal, and if we have probable cause to search them, and if we then have cause to tow them, then they will have to pay an additional $30 to get their car back. I just, first of all, anybody that's doing that probably doesn't even know about, I didn't even know about it till I saw this, quite frankly. I know you have to pay a towing fee and a storage fee and that kind of thing. We had a resident over in Thornwood House who had his new vehicle towed, and it really shouldn't have been towed, not necessarily by our police department, but he had to sell his heirloom coin collection in order to get enough money to get his vehicle back, because he's on a fixed income, Mayor, as you indicated some other folks have. And this, if it would have applied, would have added an additional insult to injury by having him have to pay an additional $50 to the village. So, I think this is wrong. Our citizens are taxed enough in this village. I don't think and the argument that this is going to help us with our revenue to offset some of our expenses, and we can't even share with the community and this board how much money this is going to raise because we don't even have an idea of how many cars are being towed, is further testimony that I think this is the wrong thing to do without having some facts to back it up. So I'm definitely opposed to it.
Do you know what the young man's car was towed for?
It wasn't a young man, it was a senior citizen.
Okay, do you know what his car was towed for?
Just parking there. He
Okay.
didn't have he hadn't had a chance because the office was closed to get his sticker to put in the car, and it was towed.
Well, if he wants to come up to the police station and bring a ticket where his car was towed for parking, I'll be glad to look into that. But, there's state statutes and laws and everything. People can't drive without insurance, and things like that. And the officers are doing their job. When they catch somebody who's driving illegally or for whatever reason, and the car needs to be impounded, they're doing their job.
Well, the other thing that I'm concerned about is the selective prosecution of things, okay? So, because somebody may know me and I know you, they can get away with it where somebody can't. We've seen a lot of that in this village, and I don't think we need to continue that and have that kind of discretion. I think the law should stand as they are. This is, in my mind, just onerous, in addition to the expensive fees that a person incurs when they have their vehicle towed is enough.
Madam Mayor, may I ask a couple of
Yes, sir.
questions? Do we tow cars for not having their village sticker?
No, you don't. That's why I'm very interested to see the elderly gentleman's.
I didn't say it was a village sticker. I said his sticker for the complex.
Okay. Is the village responsible for, Chief, again, is the village responsible for towing cars if they do not have a sticker to park at Thornwood House?
At Thornwood House and other places, I'm not aware that we've been towing a car for not having a Thornwood sticker.
All right, wouldn't that be applied to, say, wouldn't that be the development that would do something like that, saying, if you park here illegally, we will tow your car, and you can pick it up at such and such a location?
I'm not aware that we're doing that anywhere. We've been giving out citations for no village sticker, okay? And, you're asking for two different things. He's saying that he doesn't want people given a preference that somebody knows, but I don't know, it sounds like he knows the elderly gentleman, and we want to give him some preference. People come up to the village, up to the police station, and on a daily basis, we help people out in this village that have gotten a ticket, that have situations like he mentioned, okay? I mean, that's pretty specific, it says it all.
All right. Another quick question. Do you tow a car for driving on a suspended license?
Yes, you will.
In many cases, we do that.
Do you tow a car for DUI?
Yes, we do. We, like I said, for, the state statutes, if they're not in conformance, we tow the cars. The police officers are doing their jobs. If they're violating the state statutes and the car is supposed to be towed, we do that according to the state
So
statutes.
this is also to encourage public safety? And there are administration costs to that the police officer has to do to have a car towed. Isn't that correct? Don't you have to do paperwork, print out a tow slip, et cetera?
Absolutely.
Okay. Anyone else?
I do.
Trustee,
You know, I think we should go a step further. You know, individuals who are involved in a criminal act and get their vehicles towed should incur more than $50. You just mentioned that we may have individuals come through here who involved in maybe just say you found drugs in the vehicle, or that person has an outstanding warrant or is known as a dangerous person, and take them into custody. I think that, to me, should be more than a $50, you get your vehicle back. And I think incurring a fine of probably $100 for a vehicle involved in a criminal act, that's what I would vote for. I'm not going to vote for, and I think that should be in addition, or be part of, change that, just having your vehicle towed by police order. I think it should stay $20 by police order. But if a vehicle is involved in a criminal act, that individual or whoever that owns it should incur a $100 fine.
okay. All right, last thing. So there are certain, we do have a law of why your car's towed, because there are various reasons I've heard cars being towed. I thought it was just for illegal activity or accidents, but it's just randomly. Is that what I'm saying? If it's a reason that you feel that it should be towed, it's towed, or are there rules or regulations on, if a car is sitting unoccupied for a while, we do tow those cars out of parkways or driveways or?
Yes, because sometimes when cars are like that, they're a traffic hazard. They could cause an accident. Some of them are on bus routes, like Sandra over by the park. We have cars parked on that street, but when a bus comes through, you have to wait on this side until the bus comes through, and then you can go around. So those are problems. We just got information this week about a drug house in University Park. We'll be doing everything that we can. Anybody that drives up to that house in a car, and I hope they're watching this video, or they watch it sometime this week, we'll be doing everything we can with anybody who's in a vehicle or whatever method they use, walking to that house or whatever we're doing. We'll be doing everything we can to, get rid of the activity that's going on at that house, and that includes towing their cars or seizing their cars or whatever we can do to drive them out of University Park. So these tools are used for various reasons. So, just making you all aware of situations like that, and that's the situation we have going on right now.
Any other questions, concerns? Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
For the original motion.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Payton?
Nay.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes aye for public safety.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes no.
Mayor Covington?
No.
Madam Mayor, that's ordinance 2015-11.
Thank you. First, second, and third.
2015 what, ma'am? Could I just have that again? 2015.
2015-11. First,
Thank
sec-
you.
First, second, and third, you're welcome. First, second, and third reading, ordinance amending section 23808 of University Park Code of Ordinance entitled Part-Time Police Officer
So move.
Unit. So moved by trustee.
Second.
Trustee Griffin, second by trustee Rudez. Questions,
Question.
concerns? Yes, sir. Trustee Larry Brown?
So with allowing the chief to have control over who he hires and fires, are you good with that as the manager? Because I thought that was your job.
Yeah, me too.
The only change we're asking to this ordinance is to strike the section that says part-time police officers shall be assigned under any circumstances to supervise or direct full-time officers. Part-time police officers shall not be used as permanent replacements for full-time officers. That's the amendment. That's the only amendment to this ordinance.
Section 3G.
Section 3 is already existed, and the police chief is always, I don't know how far back, whenever the ordinance was
But you're
adopted,
good, so you don't have to come to you to fire somebody. That's what I'm asking.
to dismiss the part-time officers.
Anybody. Anybody. You are the manager. That's what I'm asking. Is that okay with you?
The police chief is in charge of hiring part-time officers. Those officers become a member of the ACME bargaining unit when and they have to be,
You're the bargaining agent for this village. That's why I'm asking you, is it okay with you when that happens?
yes, it is.
Pardon me?
Yes, it is. They're put a due process under their union collective bargaining. The police chief has always had,
So if there's an issue, if there's a grievance, a termination grievance, you're going to have the police chief to be there and not you?
no, termination, according to the bargaining unit, to be terminated has to go through 3 steps.
You're the third
I am
step.
the third step.
Yeah, you're the third
So I
step.
would have to agree with it.
Yeah.
Right.
But
For
you
the
have to be at
termination
that, I'm asking, are you going to be at that meeting?
Yes,
You
I
can't
will.
just agree to it, you have to be at the meeting.
I have to be at those meetings. I'm
Yeah.
step 3. At
So
step three-
you're good with that?
At step 3, I would agree or disagree. Sometimes I remand them back to suspensions. Sometimes I support determination. It depends on the circumstances.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee,
Yeah, just as a follow-up, because you indicated that he has that right now, because as I read it, and I'm not as familiar as trustee Larry Brown is, but it says section 230-08 part-time police unit shall be amended by adding the following as listed as section 230-08G. So we're actually adding this whole discipline paragraph to the ordinance. Is that your understanding?
My understanding is that we are striking.
No, we're striking section 1, the language in section 1 there on
Section
page
3.
1. Section 3 says, it says, shall be amended by adding the following to be listed. So I'm assuming that this paragraph G is being added to modify the ordinance. Is that, or am I misunderstanding something here?
that's what it says clearly here.
Section 3 is not new.
Pardon me?
Section 3 is not new.
Well, then the ordinance, are you saying that the ordinance is wrong as
Well,
as it's written
being
in?
added?
Because it clearly says, shall be amended by adding the following to be listed as section 230-08,
First
subparagraph G. That's why I was a little confused when you were
It is a little confusing. I
answering
understand.
trustee Larry Brown, because it appears that that is not in there and that we're putting it in there.
Madam Mayor, could I might be able to provide some
Yes, sir.
clarity. If you look at Section A, it says such members shall be appointed, disciplined, and discharged by the chief of police in accordance with this section and state statutes governing part-time police. I'm thinking maybe it was a mistake with the markup of the bill,
We need to table it.
Excuse me, Mayor, I think.
but that's
I think
always been a duty of the police chief according
Right.
to our ordinance.
That part didn't change. The state statute for it changed. And about the training and different things like that. The part-time, in section 1, in parentheses 1 and 2, some of that language changed a little bit. We sent that over. And one of the things that has happened, just information for the public as well as the board members, we don't have any part-timers right now. The part-timers that we had since I've been at that department were collecting a check every 2 weeks. Some of them never wrote a ticket. They didn't do anything. They did nothing. Absolutely zero. So we don't have any right now. I'm in the process of hiring some new part-timers. But people were collecting the check over there every 2 weeks, and just riding around in the squad car. So they're gone now. They don't work for us anymore. And we're in the process of hiring new part-timers.
I understand, but the issue is whether or not this was already a responsibility, because it's the information that trustee Oscar Brown Jr. referenced clearly does not have a paragraph G. This specifically states it, adds it as
If
a
you-
G. So, I think we ought to just table this until
If you
we make
look-
sure we're clear on,
Clarification.
is it required by state law, what the deal is here.
But trustee, if you look at your current ordinance, section 230-8, where we printed out the current ordinance for you, item A, establishment appointments, there it is hereby established a part-time police unit. The part-time unit of not more than 20 members, such members shall be appointed, disciplined, and discharged by the chief of police in accordance with this section and state statutes governing the part-time officers. So those authorities of the
And
police
the-
chief
and
are
the-
always there.
And the added paragraph says, disciplined part-time officers shall be under the disciplinary jurisdiction of the chief of police or his designee. Part-time police officers shall serve at the discretion of the Village of University Park Police Chief and shall not have any property rights in said employment and may be removed by the Village of University Park Police Chief at any time. Part-time police officers shall comply with all applicable rules and general orders issued by the police department. So that would appear to me to be a lot more extensive than what you're referring to. And again, this section 3 amends section 230-08 by adding subparagraph G, and the ordinance as it exists right now only goes up to subparagraph F. So, I've heard, different rationale on different things, and trustee Larry Brown raised some issues. I think until we get this clarified, that we should probably table this.
It's a combination of A and F now, but I would support the tabling to make it more clear so that we can all understand it. But if you look at the current ordinance, items A and F, it pretty much, it's like we're combining the two of them into one as G. But,
So
I would
what is
support
the
the
purpose?
tabling.
What's the purpose of G if it's already here? If it's in paragraph A?
So I would support the tabling of it. I think
Yeah.
G just kind of expounds on the language. I think the only thing I see new to it is the general orders sentence, which I think is implied with the police department.
Okay, is there a motion to
I
table?
make a motion to table, Mayor.
Okay.
Second.
Table by trustee Milton Payton, second by trustee Larry Brown. Roll call.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Oscar Brown?
Aye.
I'm sorry. Aye. Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes no.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes no to table.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes aye at the table.
And Mayor Covington?
Both sides.
Motion carries to table.
Thank you. Okay. Resolution authorizing improvement of Greenbrier Lane and the appropriation of funds from the Village of University Parks and Florida Tax Expense Fund to pay for the said improvement. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Griffin.
Second.
Second by trustee Rudez. Yes. I think there is some language of misunderstanding here from the Plan Commission that it was not approved by the owners. I'm sorry, the road repairs. I have to take that back down. Is there any motion on this one?
Yeah, I've got some
Comments on this?
Again, could you share with us,
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, this other one here, this particular one here, Mr. Lanier, Greenbrier recommending, Mr. Lanier. I'm sorry, I asked for a bid out of public roads provided. Why is that? Oh,
The project has not been bid. What we're simply asking today is that the board allow us to have this road repaired using head tax funds, which by directive of the board, they will place into a special revenue fund.
and we will be,
And the project will be bid out. With the engineering, once the engineering is complete, the project will be bid out.
Trustee?
I have a question.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Isn't this a homeowners association,
Yes, yes.
that area? Greenbrier and Oakside?
The area does include a homeowner association, but we're only looking at public roads. We would not repair private roads.
Yeah, that-
Do we know that the roads are not their responsibility?
We do. We had the engineering, when the engineer came out and gave us an estimate, he did establish that they were public roads.
This has happened before. We did some cul-de-sac, and it belonged to them and not the village. Anything else? Excuse me, Larry Brown?
No. Thank you.
Okay, just a second, he was seconding you.
I just wanted to.
Yeah,
ask
on its face, excuse me, trustee, on its face, to me, it seems to be an inappropriate process, and really, from my standpoint, as I see it, unless I get some clarification, seems like this is, has some politics wrapped in it. First of all, is this particular section of street on Greenbrier Lane part of our 5-year road plan?
Trustee, I spoke with the mayor today. We're in the process of establishing in our strategic goals a 5-year road plan. We do not currently have one. We have been repairing our roads pretty much on an as-needed basis.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
That's-
my recollection is that we had, in previous meetings, talked about this 5-year road plan. There was one, because when Jerry
Jerry Townsend, he did keep it,
Crockett, Ms. Crockett came here,
before my time.
Marilyn Crockett, and wanted Hamilton Road. And we referred her to Public Works to have it put into the 5-year road plan. So this activity for road repairs is normally part of the road and bridge budget. I mean, that's why we have a road and bridge budget. And to now have it in this employee expense fund where it seems, you know, every time we got a special project or something needs a focus, someone comes to us, we go to this fund, which it's beyond me how it's got that much money in it. We try to use that fund rather than go to the process that has been established for years. So I got a real concern about that. And I'd like to know who initiated that. Who brought this to you that you would now go and get Robinson Engineering involved, where we have to pay them now for this consulting work beyond what is in the basic 5-year plan that we have?
And I think, first off, I think what you refer to as a 5-year plan, again, the village has not established a 5-year plan. We have, our roads have seemed to have, the roads wouldn't be in the conditions they're in if there was an existing 5-year plan. We've had roads that have been neglected for excess of 20 years. And it appears to me that they've been repaired and maintained pretty much on an as-needed basis. I think at one point in time, Public Works did have some sort of schedule of the most deteriorated roads based on the amount of asphalt they've been putting in the roads for pothole patching. Several meetings ago, the board, you know, when they established this special fund, they established certain projects that they wanted this fund to be applied to. This might have been back, if memory serves me correct, as long ago as January. Recently, they did come forward and say that they would like us to, and the engineering was done probably at least 2, maybe 3 months ago. They did ask that this be placed on the agenda.
So again, my basic question is, how did this come to your attention? There are probably a number of streets, including to Hamilton, that need repairs. Why does this particular street have the priority, so much so that we take it out of the road and bridge department and want to pay for it from the employees' head tax slush fund?
Our road and bridge act is not sufficient, you know, to continue with our road projects. This is why we have so many projects going on right now. It just doesn't generate that much money. As far as how it came to me, I believe it came to me during a board meeting. It was asked to place this on the next agenda.
What board meeting?
Not board meeting,
What
but I was
board?
at.
I'm sorry, trustee.
I just wanted to say, Larry's question, trustee Brown's question was, Jesus, I forgot what his question was. Something about, isn't it the association or the, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what it was. Okay, I want to say that over there, when you have an association, the city does pay for the in the middle of the road. The association normally pays for the parking spaces. And that's all I know. Anything else I don't. So I was trying to answer his question for him.
You have a question?
Thank you, trustee.
Okay.
First, I am very pleased that this much-needed project is going to be completed from the employee expense tax. Greenbrier is a desperate road in need of much repair. Patching is no longer adequate for that road. There are going to be a lot of happy residents on Greenbrier. I will say I did bring up the most important streets that were in my mind from riding around the town. That was Greenbrier, Abbott, Amherst, Pin Oak. Those were the most.
You had Farmview also.
And I would also need to add
Farmview also.
Burnham Drive on that one too, because that one's
Thornwood Mall
also pretty
is
bad.
unbelievable.
Yeah, that one's also pretty bad.
Really
We need these funds to help repair our roads. Those 5 I just mentioned are in very bad repair. We do not need to wait around for road and bridge money for it to come through. It took me 6 years, but we finally got to Ann Lane, and I said specifically, I do not want to wait another 6 years for Greenbrier. Greenbrier is horrific. It is now going to be repaired. It shouldn't really matter, in my opinion, how it's getting repaired. And we can call it a slush fund, and we can bash it as much as you want, but the fact of the matter is, repairing roads is repairing roads, and there's going to be a lot of happy residents on Greenbrier, because they will no longer have to go through ditches in the middle of their street. They're going to go over a nice, clean, safe road. And if we keep up with this head tax, or this employee expense tax, there'll be a lot of nice, clean roads in University Park, along with sidewalks, curbs, and gutters, if we keep it up. But I'm very happy. I will take some credit. I did bring it up, and we were going to keep on repairing these roads for as long as we can. Or as Senator Hutchinson once said, I'm going to do the best I can for as long as I can. Thank you.
Okay, could you tell me right now, Ms. Ford, how much money's in that account? Give me a rough estimate, how much money we have? Ms. Ford,
I believe it's,
how much is in that account?
I can get that information to you. I don't have it tonight,
Okay.
but I can.
About, do you know
About how
about,
much?
so last time I asked, it was about what, 14,000? Something like that, 140,000. Estimate about roughly?
I think the fund generates close to $300,000 a year with a 50-50 split between the general fund and the special revenue fund.
Well, the last time I checked, it wasn't that high. Also, we have MFT funds. I go to the board, I'm on the transportation committee, and there are funds for the roads through them that they do. The motor fuel taxes is something that the governor is attacking right now, which we are considering in balancing our budgets. However, our funds already for that, and we should have priority. Thornwood House, the people over there handicapped with walkers and wheelchairs, and it's deplorable. It's absolutely terrible. Abbott, terrible for many, 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 many years. So, and they've been begging. So I think we should have this 5-year plan. Nothing against anyone getting the roads fixed. However, we should prioritize them and see who has had them the longest and try to get on that. Anyone else?
Mayor, I would just like to congratulate trustee Oscar Brown Jr., because I think he's 2-0 now, because didn't you bring, what was it, Ann Lane or Irving, something like that? That you plug them, put them into head of the line also, so anybody that needs a road project, you're the guy that we should see, right? Absolutely. And that was going to be paid out of the same fund.
Thank God for him.
Excuse me.
Rather than go through the process that we should be going through and funding our road and bridge department as it should be funded, so that we can have everyone to have their streets repaired in an orderly fashion.
Then why don't you do that, sir?
Okay.
All right, trustee Brown, I couldn't help it. Jeez.
Roll call, please.
Like there's something wrong, get a road fix. Don't understand.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Madam Clerk,
We're voting for the
That's an amendment, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Payton.
motion not to approve this.
Trustee Griffin.
To approve the resolution. I'm sorry, where'd you start?
I call Trustee Griffin.
I vote on the motion to approve, yes, ma'am.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
Way to go,
And
trustee.
Mayor Covington.
Like a real trustee.
Right now.
Mayor Covington.
This right now, I think we need to revisit this and prioritize it now.
Madam Mayor, that's Resolution R 2015-08.
Okay. Resolution approving an extension of the intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Park Forest to allow the use of the occupancy of the driving range and clubhouse at the Hidden Meadows Golf Course. Is there a motion?
So move.
Moved by trustee Roulette, second by trustee Griffin, and for the audience, we are extending an agreement with Park Forest at $1,000 a month, $1,100 a month, to use the occupancy of their range right across from our golf course. Any questions, concerns? Yes, sir.
First of all, the cost is $1,100 a month. There was no, and I thought we discussed this before, that this $1,100 a month is just for golfing season, because I didn't see that in the ordinance. So as I read this right now, this is $1,100 a month for 12 months.
Shouldn't be for 12.
In attachment A, it says it runs through October 31st, 2015.
It says that the agreement runs, is, in the event the agreement is terminated prior to October 31st, 2015, the obligation to pay use and occupancy shall terminate as well. So are you saying that at the end of the golf season, we terminate the agreement?
Correct. Again, attachment A, the first bullet point, University Park to use and occupy the driving range and clubhouse in its as-is condition owned by Park Forest and located to the east end of University Park Golf Club for the 2015 golf season running through the date of this agreement through October 31, 2015.
Okay. My next question is this. What are the revenues associated with this driving range? In other words, does the driving range make us money because we know the golf course is bleeding money and this is part of the overall golf operation? Do we have any revenue numbers that will offset this $1,100?
Mr. Blockham does.
Mr. Lanier, if I may answer that question. Last year, we made a little over $8,500.
Is that revenue
So
or is
basically,
that net profit?
that's revenue. So basically, it paid for itself. But if you look at the bigger scheme of things, it's amenities for the golfers that come and play golf at University Golf Club.
Okay, so what you're saying, therefore, if we're paying $1,100 a month for 7 months, is that correct?
That's correct.
So that's $7,700.
That's correct.
And we made $8,500.
Well, last year, we actually paid $1,000 per month.
Okay,
So we've gone up $100, or they went up $100.
okay. So if we do the same, then we're talking about netting $800. That doesn't include the
Well, sir,
labor that's associated with that facility, the utilities, the insurance, and the maintenance of the facility. Somebody's got to pick up the balls and take them and put them back in the machine, right? So I think what I'm hearing is that it's losing money.
I'm hoping that it doesn't lose money this year. I'm hoping that we'll have a better year than we did last year. So with that being said, that $7,700, again, allows the golfers that utilize University Golf Club an opportunity to practice before they go out and play, that attract golfers to the golf course because of the practice facility.
At the expense of the taxpayers.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Trustee Larry Brown?
Is the price of golfing included with the, is the driving range, is that included with the price of golfing?
No, sir.
Shouldn't it be?
That's an additional fee.
So what does it cost to golf? If I come in and want to golf, and not go to the driving range, what would it cost?
Peak season's $39. Non-peak season, this time of the year, it could cost you $22.
So we cannot put an extra charge of $1.50 in there for the driving range.
If we put the extra $1.50 into the fee, then we will be liable to give the golfers range balls, whereas we're charging them $5, $7, or $10 to utilize the range if they want to purchase a
Trustee Brown,
bucket of
do you
balls.
mind if I could ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Is it all right if I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
Mr. Blockums, how much do you charge for a bucket of range balls?
Small basket 5, medium basket 7, large basket 10. There's
And-
about 35 balls to a small
And-
basket, 70 for a medium, and 3 times that for a large.
And so typically, that's what you would use at a driving range. You would use the range balls. You wouldn't use your good golf ball that you're going to play your game with. You would
That's
use the
correct.
practice balls.
That's correct.
And that's how you fund the driving
range.
range, by selling driving range balls.
That's correct.
And don't people usually like to practice before they?
Play? Absolutely.
Okay, all right. That's it.
So you're tell me everybody that comes at a golf goes to the driving range?
Absolutely not, no.
That's my point. I mean, why not? $1.50, $2. Well, I mean,
So we can, and that's a good thought. I mean, that's something we should think about. Taxing a $3 charge to each round of golf and giving them opportunity to hit a bucket of balls. It's a great idea.
I just say give them an opportunity. You charge, there's everything else. There are hidden fees and everything else.
True.
That's all. I'm just saying.
So the posted rate or the rack rate for this year, instead of $39, can go up $3.
That's not up to me.
No, and I'm just saying, it's a good idea.
So we're going to implement that, maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
Trustee?
The driving range are really for people like myself that can't golf a lick. So we go out there and pretend that we can hit the ball straight. It would seem to me, since not all golfers golf, that the people like myself that use that driving range every 3 years or so pay a little bit more, because we need to begin establishing each segment of the golf course operations to be profitable. So if we have to raise the fees, I mean, we need, first of all, to get a full assessment as to how much money the driving range portion itself is losing by all the proper allocations, so we understand fully what's what. And then we need to make some decisions as to what the cost would be. I support having a driving range. I don't support the people of University Park subsidizing golf for most of the people who golf there who don't live in University Park. That's where I'm coming from. So, you know, I would support this with the understanding that we will examine this and do whatever we can to make sure that it's profitable.
Okay, any others? Roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Vote aye.
Madam Mayor, that's Resolution 2015-09.
0 what, sir?
9.
Okay, thank you. Resolution authorizing the execution of construction management agreement between the creators tool, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, here we go. Oh, the other amendment you gave us?
Yes,
Site plan?
yes, ma'am.
Is that the one?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is the first, second, third reading. Ordinance approving the site plan and plat of the subdivision for 21 on Dryer Road, University Park, Will County, Illinois. This item will be submitted under cover. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee
Second.
Rudez, second by trustee Griffin. Question, concern?
Madam Mayor, I talked with the chairman of the planning commission, and she would like to have this table for approval by the,
Pardon me?
in that case, I was mistaken.
Pardon me?
In that case, I was mistaken.
Okay, well, did we get approval? Well, to my understanding from the Plan Commission, this was not a person didn't want to negotiate with us. They want to sign off. Is that true? What's going on with that?
Mayor, this is Clockman Meadows, and you may recall them appearing to us several times. They purchased their property. They purchased 2 properties to build and to relocate their new plant, and they've subdivided it. They've subdivided their own properties, and it's appropriate to have this approved.
Pardon me? Well, go ahead.
Yeah.
Trustee Master.
The only thing we'd asked the plan, one of the things they'd asked during the plan review, they had asked us for a variance of I believe a 20-foot setback from the sidewalk, so that the railroad spur could make a 90-degree turn into their building. That was the item before the plan commission for review. The setback was something. I mean, the plan of subdivision is something that we had previously agreed to when we agreed to support them in their relocation of their business.
Okay, the planning chairperson is here. Would you like to speak to this, please? Laverne Williams.
While she's coming up, it's my understanding, talking to our attorney, that she spoke, or their firm spoke with the owner's attorney, and they agreed to table this because they're refusing to sign whatever the document is that needs to be signed. But Ms. Williams, if you could fill us in.
Yeah.
Sure. Good afternoon, Mayor, Board of Trustees, staff, people in the audience, and everyone here. If you read the ordinance states by our attorney, Matt Byer, states that if certain documentations were not submitted, that we will not move forward with this. The documentations that needed to be submitted was authorization by the owner of the title owner, which was not signed. The development application was not signed and submitted, nor was the subdivision signed and submitted. And so based on our ordinance, it is illegal for us to move forward with anything until those particular documents are signed and approved by the owner.
Ms. Williams, would you also, because we had a conversation, were you assured by the manager that those things would be signed shortly after the Planning Commission approved it?
Yes.
That was your understanding that they would be approved and that the owner refused to sign them and headed back to California or something?
Please don't hold me to this because I did not speak to the owner, but the developer did have a conversation with me today, and actually it was yesterday, stated that the owner refused to sign the authorization to release the title, because it's important that the owner signs off on this, the owner of the property. And he refused to sign off on it because his plan is to sell the property to Northern Builders. And until that's done, we cannot move forward. We have let me continue on. We have a scheduled public hearing. Sorry about this. I got such a headache. We have a scheduled public hearing planned for the Plan Commission with Northern Builders regarding such amendment to the variance. But legally, we cannot do anything to the variance unless the owner, the rightful owner, gives us approval to make such variance on such property.
And she is exactly correct, so I would defer to the commissioner, to the chair.
Okay.
And our ordinance protects us from anything by the attorney, so, any more questions?
No, with that said, I'm sorry, trustee.
I would like to go ahead and make a motion to table. I'd like to make a motion to table, Mayor, until we can get this resolved.
Okay. Roll call, the table.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
The second was trustee Larry Brown.
Trustee Williams. Trustee, yeah, this is to table. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye to table.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Resolution authorizing execution of a construction management agreement between the Quator Tool, Inc. and the Village University Park. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Rudez, second by trustee Griffin. I have a problem with this, serious problem with this one. Why are we paying $30,000 to outsource something for a PM, which is a project manager, when we have village manager, first of all? Second of all, we hired Mr. Townsend to do projects. So I'm not understanding, we're paying him over 30-some thousand, paying our village manager over 100,000. I don't think this is right. I think this is an expenditure that we can avoid, and I think we have people on staff that can do that. So that's $30,000 that we could save to fix a road or something. But I just can't go along with that. Any questions, concerns?
Mayor, I too share your concerns. Again, to me, it's, I'm confused as to why we are going to spend $30,000 on a project that nobody's discussed. And this involves the town center. So we're going to pay JMA Architects money also for something that this board has not even discussed what they want to do with this town center yet. We went ahead and paid JMA Architects $42,000 for the Technical Resource Center. Now we want to do this for the grocery store, and we don't even have a plan. There's no budget for it. And anything over $5,000, or is it $10,000, should have competitive bidding. There's no competitive bids associated with this. So I think that not only should this board have a discussion about what we're going to be doing with the town center, but the public needs to be part of that discussion. We need to have a town hall meeting and get their input on some things. So, Mayor, if there are no other comments, I would vote to table this motion.
Mayor,
Second.
Second?
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
To begin, the space we're talking about is not the grocery store, it is the Technical Resource Center, which we had several discussions on. The mayor, you and I did speak this afternoon about it, and we did agree that we could use Mr. Townsend as the project manager. I spoke with him, he's willing to take on the task,
He is, okay.
as we talked about. I said, when you spoke to me later in the day, so I would support the tabling
Okay,
or the denial
thank you.
for
And he
this
did say
resolution.
that he was willing to
No,
take on.
I spoke with him in length after we spoke. He said it's something that he can in fact do, and a project that he would in fact take on.
Who's that, Lafayette?
Jerry
Jerry
Townsend.
Townsend, that we're paying. It's consultant. Okay, motion has been made to table. Roll call.
Excuse me, Mayor, Mayor, do you want to table it, or you just want to vote it down?
Vote to table.
We're not going to bring, we have no intention to bring it back up if Mr. Townsend is going to do it.
Okay,
So you would simply vote no on the resolution.
okay. The table is already, a second is already done.
So let's make it
So,
table.
you want to do the table, trustee? Okay, roll call on the table. He wants to table it indefinitely. Okay, roll call.
Trustee Williams. Yes. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Both sides of the table.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Okay. Resolution accepting and approval of annual audit report for the fiscal year 2011-12. Is there a
So
motion?
moved.
Moved by trustee Griffin, second by trustee Rudez. Questions?
I've got a couple questions.
Well, I do have one.
Go ahead.
Is it possible at any point that we can do two 18-month audits? Is that something we can think about? Try to get things current, more current?
No, Mayor, we're on a 12-month fiscal year, so our
Right.
audits have to agree with that 12 months.
Trustee?
Yeah, in the management discussion and analysis on page MD&A1, under financial highlights, the first bullet paragraph, I wonder if you could maybe explain this paragraph to me. It says, "The Village of University Park's net position increased as a result of this year's operations, while net position of business-type activities decreased by $963,862, or 29.1%. Net position of the governmental activities increased $3,285,693, or 29%. Could you help me out as to what that means? It's page MD&A in the management discussion. First bullet under financial highlights.
Highlights.
Right.
MD&A 1.
When it says the village's net position increased as a result of operations, it means that our governmental funds had an increase as a result of operations. And it says the net position of the business-type activities, we're talking about our enterprise decreased by $963,000. Those are our enterprise funds, which is the golf course and conference center, or 29.1%. The net position of governmental activities increased $3,285,000, or 29.0%. But then our activities and our governmental funds increased.
Okay, so when it says the 963,000 where the business type activities decreased, is that revenue? Is that profitability?
That's a loss.
Huh?
That's a loss.
Okay.
In layman's terms.
So it says that the business type activities
Decrease.
increased the loss 29.1%, or increased, or decreased, decrease being the reverse when we're talking about a loss, right?
Right, and those comments, those numbers that you're getting, you turn to page 7 in the booklet,
Okay.
and you're going to see the governmental activities on one column, which is showing you the 3.2, and then you'll see the primary government, the business type activity, showing the decrease of 963,000. That's the financial statement that they're referring to in their comments. That's what they're,
Okay. Well, just for clarification, because when it says decrease, I know it's like the algebra thing, above or below the line. So I just want to understand that when it says the business type activities decreased by $963,862, that means there was a additional loss of the business type activities of that?
yes,
Okay.
for this financial reporting.
Okay, all right. And which ties a little bit back to that page 7 here, which was the governmental activities increased by $3,285,693. Because it refers on page 7 also that due to the expiration of a TIF, where it says here in the last sentence of that page MDA 7, the surplus in the current year is due to the expiration of TIF 2 agreement. Does that relate to the increased?
Where are you reading?
MD.
Right,
Nine.
yeah, page 7, that first
MDA.
paragraph, last sentence.
MDA and A7.
Yeah, page 7. of the management discussion and analysis, section. First paragraph says the surplus in the current year is due to the expiration of the TIF 2 agreement. And then on the financial highlights, I'm just wondering if there's a link between the two, where it says the position of the governmental activities increased by $3,285,693, which is back in the financial highlights on page 1, the paragraph.
And to add the fuel to that, I was questioning when I read our book the other day, Thursday night's meeting. The TIF 2 fund reported a deficit for the year of $432,107. This decrease was primarily due to the transfer out of the remaining fund balance to general funds at the end of the fiscal year. So how does that filter in with this? Because I know TIF 2 does not have the actual fundings of what they're saying anyway. And here it quantifies what that says, that it's at a deficit.
You guys appear to be reading in two different areas. TIF 2 did expire in 2011, and that did increase the governmental funds.
But how much is
That expiration, I don't know exactly where you're reading. I think
I'm reading at MDA 9, top page, that it was a deficit.
Right.
And in actuality, there is a deficit in TIF 2.
Right.
Yeah, well, what- Go on with your question. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to figure out, are the two somehow tied together with the expiration of TIF 2, as the mayor indicated, had a negative fund balance?
the expiration, TIF 2 had a positive fund balance.
Okay.
And that added to the positive fund balance of the governmental funds.
Okay.
That's your correlation.
Okay, so I get back to my original question, which was the first paragraph, as it relates to the $3,285,000.
2.5 million was from TIF 2.
Okay, so that's where the increase came from.
That's where the increase from governmental funds came from, a portion of it, 2.5 of the 3.2.
Okay, so that was then flopped over into,
Well, it's not flopped over anywhere, it's just considered part of the
Still there.
governmental funds.
okay. Is it usable by the village?
No, TIF surpluses have to be returned to the county when the TIF is closed out to be dispersed among all the taxing bodies.
Right, at that point, for the school districts and various districts, that we have all taxing bodies, we only have two of them, which is the school district and the library.
School district, library, township, county,
You know,
all the
most
taxing
of them.
bodies will get a share in the TIF revenues.
Right.
Once
So-
they're the surplus revenues.
And those funds were dispersed, that you're saying, and not?
In 2011, those funds were loaned to the general fund.
That's what I'm saying,
2012, that's where you have the surplus.
So how can they be dispersed at the same time?
Mayor, just for the public's consumption and why this whole issue with the Creative Hospitality Associates is important to our community. On page 9 of this management discussion and analysis, the last paragraph, the last two sentences, it says, the deficit in the golf course fund, now this is, mind you, this was for fiscal year 2012. The deficit in the golf course fund during the current fiscal year was $877,255, while the previous fiscal year reported a deficit of $794,483. The unrestricted net position in the golf course fund totaled a minus $6,075,552 at April 30th, 2012. We got to do something.
No, sir. That's it? Any others? Understanding to the audience that budget is a workable document, it can be adjusted at any time and will be adjusted. Any others?
I don't see. I just want to say that's what I've been saying for years. I've been saying a total of about close to $10 million. This is just for 12, for close to about $10 million. So I don't see I really don't see why it's a shock. I've been saying that for years.
Not a shock.
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah, it's not a shock. Something that needs to be controlled. Any others? Okay. Roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington. Trustee Williams. Madam Mayor, that's Resolution 2015-11.
Let you know that we will be working on that and making adjustable changes for it and come back to the ordinance and the residents with that. First reading of ordinance adopting the budget for year 2009, 2010, and, I'm sorry.
10.
Sorry, that's new business, sorry. First, second, and third reading.
2010.
Just a second, no, this is what you gave us here, that was a mistake they gave us. Sorry. Okay, first reading budget ordinance, which we did, first and second, third reading ordinance accepting the budget of Terry Ford for the purchase of a
Madam Mayor.
sorry, oh, the audit. I apologize.
No. We're at the budget, Madam Mayor.
Where's the budget? I'm sorry. E2H is out of order. Okay. First reading, apologize, first reading, adopted the budget for our corporate purposes of the Village of University Park, Will and Cook County, Illinois, in lieu of the appropriation ordinance for the first fiscal commencing on the first day of May 2015 and ending on the 13th day of April 2016. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee, second by trustee Rudez. Any questions, concerns, comments?
Yeah, I've got some, but,
Yeah.
say what? Yeah, this is just the first reading. I just wanted to, make just one, well, just a couple comments. One, on page 43, on page 43 of the presentation, which is the restaurant page, there were no revenues there, but there were expenses because the golf course operation had, well, I should say, we got a new page 42, but there was no revenues for the conference center, where the golf course operation, they had revenues of $651,000, expenditures of $624,000 from a budget standpoint. So I was wondering why there were no revenues, even though we have actuals for the conference center portion.
Yeah, that's a page she had amended, I
Yeah, well,
think.
see, my pages went from 33 to 42.
So you don't have page 41. We'll get you page 41.
Okay, all right, okay. Now, just for the general public, tomorrow evening, the Finance Committee meets at 7 o'clock right here in 90 Town Center. So I would encourage you to come out. That'll be probably the best opportunity for you to provide some input and ask questions related to the budget. I, quite frankly, couldn't make the budget meeting because I teach on Thursday nights, but, and I haven't had a chance to go through it as thoroughly as I'd like, but tomorrow we will begin that process since it'll be part of the Finance Committee agenda.
And
And
there's
it will
a,
be a public hearing.
yeah, and there'll be,
Right.
so you have the Finance Committee meeting tomorrow, and the public hearing is, I don't have the calendar. Anybody have the budget calendar? The following week?
We had one.
No, we haven't had the public hearing.
We just had a budget meeting. She didn't have a hearing. Okay. Do you have the date, Mr. Lindsey? The hearing?
I'll put it on the website. I think I emailed everyone the calendar, the budget calendar, so I forgot to bring mine with me. But I believe the public hearing is the following week. What we had last week was the workshop. Then we have the first reading, then we have the Finance Committee, then we have the public hearing, then we'll bring it back for the board
Okay.
for final reading.
Okay. First, second, and third reading ordinance, oh, you had another question? Oh, I'm sorry, roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye for first reading.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye, first reading.
And Mayor Covington.
Votes aye. First, second, and third reading ordinance accepting a proposal of Terry Ford for the purchase of 2015 Ford Explorer for the IT department. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to table.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Purpose of tabling is?
For further discussion.
Okay. Roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. First, second, and third reading acceptance of the lowest proposal for refuse collection with Homewood Disposal, Inc. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, concerns? Roll call. I'm sorry. You had one?
Mayor, before, you brought this to the board, before we went out for competitive bids, and they had proposed to provide these 95-gallon trash cans for all the residential areas.
Yes.
Is that
That's still, yes.
be part of this? Because I didn't see the agreement
And
itself.
65,
And recycling.
and recycling if they would like to have recycling. This is also, if you don't want the 95-gallon, you get the 65-gallon for people that don't want to wrestle with that if it's too heavy for them. So,
Is that extra?
if you want recycled, it is extra, Mr. Lanier?
No.
Residential customers will have recycling. Except they'll deliver 2 bins. They'll try to get all of the
Yes.
bins delivered by May 15th. 1 bin is to be brought out every other week. The recycle bin is to be brought out every other Wednesday.
Right.
You know, every other Wednesday you'll bring out both bins.
And there's
How
no
do you say
extra
that?
charge.
Every week you'll bring out your garbage bin. Every
Right.
other Wednesday you'll bring out your garbage and your recycle bin.
Recycling.
Right.
So,
And they did ask for there's no, Trustee Griffin asked the question if there is any charge for a large one. No, there is not. They asked for a 5% we cost, I think Trustee Griffin was one, from 5% to 3% decrease. We will no longer handle the collections. That'll be gone to them, so we won't have that burden of paying over
Good.
$190,000. That won't be in our budget any longer. They will handle that. So that's a wonderful thing for the village. Any others?
Yeah, I still have another question.
good
Yes,
job,
sir.
Lafayette.
Right.
Yeah.
The apartment complexes are required to pay trash for each one of their units, whether they're occupied or not, the multifamily units. Does the agreement with Homewood Disposal require the large complexes to have trash pickup for each one of their units? Because they can get a lower rate by having another private scavenger or negotiating directly with Homewood Disposal for each one of the units.
And they will still have that ability to negotiate directly with Homewood Disposal or another scavenger for each unit. But currently, the contract is the same as it was in the past, where they pay them per unit, the cost is per unit, per building.
Right. So will we have to pass an ordinance then to change that?
In ordinance to change, to give them an
Right, so
opportunity to...
if they wanted to go
give them
out-
an Yes, we would have to consider an ordinance to allow them to go out and get a private scavenger.
Okay, all right, we don't, right now,
Right
they
now,
don't have
Homewood
that
Disposal
capability. Okay,
will pick up their garbage.
okay, all right. I mean, they still could negotiate with Homewood Disposal separately, but they could get some competitive bids so that they could get lower rates, because, I mean, that, let's face it, this translates into higher rents. I know that, I was told that Brittany Wood, now Maple Leaf Apartments,
Right.
their taxes over the last 3 years have gone up like $400,000. And, you know, they've had to pass the water on in order just to, you know, the water bills and, the tenants are complaining about the cost of that. Same thing with the trash is another thing. So anything that we can do to try to, take those costs away, it'll make it easier for the tenants.
That's an excellent suggestion, trustee, and I will call Homewood Disposal tomorrow, speak to them about what you brought up, and we'll come back before the board.
Well, the meeting that Mr. Lanier and I had, they should be be able to accommodate. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington.
Votes aye, and everyone, look, they said that right away, they will give everyone, push out these garbage cans immediately. Correct, Mr. Lanier? We were at the meeting with them? And also, they will push them out right away, and for those that are current with their bills.
Correct, Mayor. They'll have a list of people who have arrears of in excess of $200. They will not receive a bin until they work out some sort of repayment agreement with the village.
So yay, 7 months late, but we got it. Thank you. Thank you, board. Bills payable?
The ordinance,
Get that,
the number?
Sorry,
the number on the ordinance
sorry.
number?
I'm sorry. O 2015-13.
That's 13.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bills payable. Attached for your approval is a listing of the general and operating expenses for the Village of University Park, and the following is a grand total of everyday expenses for March 1st, 2011 and March 24th, 2015. General operating funds, $262,743.14. Ridge Road and Bridge is $2,373.12. Town Center is $3,844.80. Golf course is $21,321.93. MFT, $8,377.20. Capital projects, $3,830.52. TIF 5 is $1,670.91, totaling $403,161.63. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee Rudez, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Larry Brown. Questions, concerns?
Question.
Questions? Trustee Griffin.
Check 40. Okay, on page 1, I can't see the first numbers out, but it's 4215.
I'm sorry, trustee Griffin.
GH Heating Repairs, $3,500.30.
Check 4250.
That first number is off, so I can't, all it's showing is.
Jerry, you want to speak to that while Sharon looks up the invoice?
Yeah, 4215.
Yes, trustee Griffin. That was during the winter months when we had a few breakdowns on the town center.
Roof?
Yeah, units. There was
Okay.
more than one. I think it was 4 units that went down.
Okay,
And
All right.
that's what occurred that bill.
okay, thank you. And 4230, M. Roco Partial Negotiation Service, 5250.
That is charge for the right-of-ways I've been purchasing for our road construction project.
Okay, right-of-ways, okay. And check 4264, Titleist Pro Shop Merchandise. Do we?
$6,000?
$6,000. Do we spend, do they?
Pro
purchase-
Shop?
Yeah.
Actually, that's for the entire year for golf balls, gloves, shoes,
Oh, that's for the
and
whole
such,
year?
for the entire year,
Oh, okay, all right.
for the
thank
entire
you.
season.
Okay.
When you say merchandise, you mean their shirts as well for $6,000? There's everything.
No, actually, there's no shirts involved. Golf shoes, golf balls, gloves, caps, but no shirts or shorts.
Oh, okay.
I want to read the other portion of it. Attached for your approval, listing of the general funds for March 25th through 2015 to April 14th currently. General funds is $154,222.19. Road and Bridge, $1,160.14. MB Finance, Special Purpose, $11,588. Town Center is $63,744.33. Golf Course, $30,041.30. Capital Project, $7,279.63. MFT, Motor Fuel Taxes, $12,173.70. TIF 2, $15,500. $518.80. After payroll expenses, $6,701.99, totaling of $302,430.08. Again, any other comments, concerns, or questions?
I got a
Trustee
question. Yes, I got a question. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Trustee Griffin and then trustee.
Check, okay, now, this one is in the second group of checks. It has the whole number here. It's 84,390. Reed Smith LLP, El Manilow Trust Services, $9,500.
What number is that?
Yes, ma'am.
Page 3, top of the
Page 3, top of the, very top of the page.
Which I'm missing. I'm missing.
Here it is, here.
84390.
That is a payment of, based on a redevelopment agreement that we entered into with the Manilow for the Reed properties when they became part of the village.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's the one I want to hear for that.
Any, trustee
Okay.
Payton?
Yeah. This involves the first set of checks. So what I can read is 4192, check 4192 to Ansel, Blink, Diamond, Bush, our former attorney, for legal services for $39,738.86. That's $39,738.86. I was wondering, for what time period was that for? Was that just for a month? And is that in addition to the $668,000 they billed us for the 22 months that we had them before?
I thought, and just, go ahead.
Since this is new.
Well, when I saw him, he told me that we owed him $23,000. I don't know how it come to $39,000.
The $39,000 is from August of 2014, and that would be his final invoice payment.
So that was for the month of August.
Right, his invoice for that amount is billing actually starting from July, when he was here, through August, through the end of July.
That's his normal monthly.
Right.
That was his monthly normal fee.
So we're paying up the final bill.
34, 35.
Could you email me a copy of all of his invoices from the time he started?
From the time he started.
Right.
I'll give you his history, yes.
Yes. Copy of the invoice. I'd like to see actual copies of the invoices for some other reason.
And did his firm do anything else for us? I know they were doing other legals for us. Our unions, do we have anything else outstanding to him?
No, they're not working with me with the union negotiations. There may be some stragglers. There have been some back and forth about a couple of payments they said we may have missed, and we're in the process of reconciling that. This may very well be the final payment, but after the day we brought on the new firm, we no longer use them for any legal work.
Okay, check 84317. This is on page 1 of the second set. DJ Phantom.
That's DJ.
Yeah, for 2015 University Park Festival, $4,500. We're paying $4,500 for a DJ? Or is that a typo?
No, sir. What it is he's contracting other performers to come out. One would be,
45.
I can't think of anybody's name right now. He's contracting, and I can send you the actual email with the different acts. But one of the things that men have been talking about is to get more entertainment. And so because he is a professional on the radio, he was going to get some people that are on the radio.
So they're going to, like, have a show or something?
Yeah, it's a performance, entertainment.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I would like to see that if possible.
No problem.
Me too.
Let's see.
You know,
Right.
I thought, this DJ.
Well, when the Human Service Special Events Committee had it, we got our existing DJs. Well, the stepper said he did it for free. We just had to pay for a delivery charge for his equipment, which was $250, and then music we had under the tent, it was like $300. So needless to say, I was a little flabbergasted when I saw $4,500. Check number
Excuse me,
8.
trustee, I just want to mention again, so you as well as mayor and the community knows, One of the things that Phantom does for other communities is he provides the window to contract with these other entertainers that we can't get on a regular basis. One of them would be, and excuse me because I have a cold from last week from the college tour, but one of the acts would be Herb Kent. He would provide to make sure that Mr. Kent is available on that date that we decide to contract, you know, him as well as, and he's gonna do ages 2 all the way up until adults. So that's why we were trying to make sure, because we didn't want to lose them, because during this time, you know, you have to do everything in advance. So we didn't want to utilize and miss out on the opportunity to be able to get some performance people to come in that we hear on a regular basis on the radio. So I'll definitely send that email to you as well as the entire board.
Okay. Well, just as a shameful plug for him, he is one of my favorite DJs. I've got his entire collection of Constantly Steppin'. So he is an absolute bomb when it comes. If you ever have a chance to get his stuff, you should get it because it's awesome. But I'm telling you, 84339, which is Home Depot, it says light bulbs, $2,247.93. I'm assuming that that's just part of the description. We didn't spend $2,200 on light bulbs. Like we did a number of years ago, it was $60,000 for some light bulbs that they actually spent.
No, the way the ledger picks it up, it only picks the first item off of the PO. So there's several items from the Home Depot that Public Works and Parks and Rec and Village Hall would have purchased.
Okay. The next one is I had not seen this before, so I had this question. 84-420, this is on page 3, where the Will County Treasurer tax redemption fees for $61,429. What does that relate to?
Property taxes for the town center.
So that's the proportionate part for the commercial use of the town
It is.
center?
You might recall, we've gone back and forth with them for a couple of years. Attorney Diamond had assured us that we should not pay these. The township comes back and says, if we, that we're required to pay them. He went to court. They continue to bill us. It was in our best interest to pay them so that they would release our tax monies for their due. I mean, if the board wants to continue to battle this issue in court, I mean, one attorney takes the position that the entire town center is tax exempt. Another one takes the position that only the portions occupied by the public entity are tax exempt. Because our attorney took the position that the entire town center was tax exempt and assured us that he had won this case in court. We did not pay them. So now, and they continue to bill us for it.
And then we get a $39,000 bill, huh? Okay. So it may have been better just to subdivide and replat the town center so that only the parcels that are being used for commercial purposes would have to pay taxes.
We can do that, or we can simply include, I don't even want to say it. We don't want to say we want to include the taxes in their rent because we don't.
Well, but we're just punishing our businesses there. I had just one more here. This the one below it, 84421, Word Systems Inc. iRecord Systems installation for $8,389. What's that for?
Trustee, our system for recording interviews and taping interviews at the police station is totally defunct. We had to get a new system in, so that's what that's for.
Okay. I have a question. I noticed we're just paying our salt bill. We got one here for $8,377. Then we have another one for salt of $12,000. Are we behind and catching up with the salt? One for $12,173.70 and another one for $8,377 for salt. Are we just catching up or?
I don't know where the money process on that bill is at right now. So, but I'm pretty sure, check went out after this.
All right, must be current. Ms., could you answer that, Mr. Lewis?
No, we were still ordering and using salt within the last 30 days. The weather's just broken, so, and it is our first board meeting almost in about that period of time, so it sounds reasonable that we would still have
Oh, they was giving out free
fees.
salt. Okay. People was giving free salt out. Okay, question. We have a lot of auto parts, and then we try to buy a truck, and we're paying $4,000 on parts, I noticed, for vehicles. But we have bought some trucks for Park and Rec, and Public Works, and now we need another one rather than pay all these expenses. When are we going to get a report from the lobbyists? I see we're paying $8,500, but I haven't seen a report yet. $8,500. Mr. Lanier, could you answer that?
I believe his contract calls for quarterly reports.
We haven't gotten, he's been here a quarter.
I don't think his first quarter has expired yet.
Do you have a status on what he's doing anyway?
I can certainly call him and ask him, but I
Yeah.
think the contract calls for quarterly reports.
Okay, I don't have any others.
I got a question.
Sure, sir.
Oh geez. Page 1, check number 4194, Aqua Water. Is this a $844.50 water bill? This the town center as a whole? Is that for a month? Or is that accumulation?
While she's looking for that, Mr. Lanier, this mobile application that you got in, I think Trustee Griffin brought it to us. Is this for the use of the village as well for $4,988? That mobile app? I mean, I really didn't see the necessity of it since everyone can have applications and download them free on your phones anyway if you have a smartphone.
That is the cost of them designing the app.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Designing and hosting the app.
They raped us on that one. Design the application not that intense. Could have got some kids to do that. Okay.
Trustee,
find it?
we don't seem to have the Aqua bill available. She would locate it for you, but the village does pay for water for all of its facilities. I'm not sure what time period it is, but we'll locate that bill for you and get it to you tomorrow.
All right. Just one more.
She found it.
Application for 49.
Okay, that's gonna service 8 Town Center, 698 Burnham, Gregg Park, and 38 Town Center. So it's various locations, it's
Okay.
just not one location.
Thank you. And one more, my last one, check number 84402, Spear Financial, general obligation bond services rendered, $740.
Every year, we have to use a financial consultant to prepare our debt disclosure required by state law, and Spear Financial is our financial consultant that prepares our debt disclosure records.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Leary, this is just a question. Are we going to ever get some type of consensus on this? These clothing allowances, we just give them $400 for clothing allowance, and I understand that. However, do they bring in, I know it, yeah, it's in the contract, do they ever bring us a receipt that they actually bought it? Because I was told last time they don't have to give us a receipt. It's just an allowance that they get, whether they get a uniform or not. Is that so?
It depends on which contract and the wording of the contract. I think you're referring to police. I think it's just part of their contracted with fire. No, they don't have to give us a receipt. According to their contract, we have to give them a certain amount of money annually for a uniform allowance.
I know the last time this came up, we talked about vouchers. And I think that's something that I know we probably can't do anything about it now, but that should be part of the negotiations. Instead of just giving out money, they get clothing vouchers. Because 9 out of 10 times, do these guys really go and spend $400 on it? Probably not.
I don't know. I do recall that when we were negotiating the contract and we came back before the board to approve the contract, we went over all the points in the contract and we asked the board, for their input with the contract, and this was part of the contract, and the board agreed to it.
And that's fine. We had this discussion last year. The contract is done. I'm just saying, going forward, this is something that we should be cognizant of when we're negotiating. And if it comes up within the next 2 years, I'm not voting to give money. As far as you want a clothing allowance or voucher, that's fine.
You will see it in another month. I'll make sure that we highlight that with the Acme contract, and you'll see it again in the next 2 months with the police contract.
Okay, last thing we can vote on this, it's bothersome to me here, this application, the mobile application, you're saying they're designing it for almost $5,000. When will it be ready for population?
They designed it and hosted. I don't know exactly when it'll be ready. I think that I have to talk with the IT department because they're working in conjunction with them. I can talk with them tomorrow and see just when it'll be live.
Because to design the app, that, I don't understand. And then is it going to be feasible for who? Who is that application? Just the residents as well?
Anyone can download it on their phone.
Yeah, you can do that now. I don't understand why we had to pay $5,000. I'm sure the residents can have smartphones to do that. Roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
I had to pay the bills.
Trustee Griffin.
He's not.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion for a 5-minute recess.
We tried, they want to go out for 5 minute recess. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone else like to second it? Second. Roll call, everyone.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown. Trustee Payton. Trustee Payton.
Purpose of the 5-minute recess is an understanding that, just for the audience know that the staff will be able to remove themselves and our attorneys, so we won't have to pay extra funding for for public law. 5 minutes, exactly. Yep. You got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay, to back. Session. Hello. Back in session. Okay. Hello. We have a quorum. We're back in session, everyone. Is Oscar here? Justin? Yeah, we got a quorum. Ms. Childress? Ms. Childers, would you like to make a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees.
Hello?
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Trustees. Just wanted to let the residents know, as well as the board know, that we did a college tour last weekend, and I received a message from a former resident of University Park, and I wanted to read this. It says, "Successfully Quan, honestly, I'm speechless. Words could not describe what I feel today taking this picture. Through the violence and the crimes in the city of Chicago, it has just been a blessing to be a role model to the kids of my neighborhood. All the way from the suburbs of University Park, Illinois, to Oxford, Mississippi, they came to see me. I pray that one day these young adults get a chance to see the light on the other side of the tunnel. Bonded by unity, love, the love you live, dream about the life you want and never forget where you came from. Laquan Treadwell, University of Mississippi, Ole Miss." Now his praise report. He is doing extremely well. His leg is back in order and successfully, if you are, and I did give a copy of the information to the board, but all while we were there, he smiled. So whatever was transpiring with him, as far as his physical, you would have never known. He made sure those young people were embraced. So thank you, Quan. We love you. Last but not least, the Village of University Park, Park and Recreation, is inviting each and every resident, as well as the manager, mayor, Board of Trustees, clerk, out to the Community Cleanup Day, which will be Saturday, April 25th, 2015, from 12 to 2. Tired of littering your community? Please join us right here at 90 Town Center. Bring your garden tools, wear a hat, gym shoes, boots, and willingness to have this community cleaned up. We will provide water, gloves, and a light refreshment. If we have a rain day, we will meet Saturday, May 8th. I look forward to seeing you all out. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other reports? Anyone? I have a quick report, right quick. I'm sorry, Mr. Lanier.
I just want to report that the auditors will be out at the end of April to start our fiscal year 13 audit. So they'll be out through the end of April and through May.
Thank you. Well, it's a little late now, but we didn't have a meeting before. Mr. Lanier, would you like? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would like to say congratulations to all the re-elected and newly elected village officials. The local roads and street status sheet for federal aid projects was released today. The Village of University Park has 2 projects. The University Parkway Reconstruction Project from the Metro entrance to Crawford. The cost of this project, you might recall, is $4 million, with the village share being $10 million. The bids to perform this work will be let June 12th. The federal government will advance $2,472,984. Village officials, staff, consultants have completed all the behind-the-scenes work, such as acquiring the right-of-ways, engineering, and coordinating with various agencies involved in with numerous meetings. The second project is the Cicero Avenue Street Lighting Project from University Parkway to Stagger Road. The cost of this project is $1.1 million. The engineering is in process. Okay. We have begun our negotiations with the village's Acme union contract. The contract includes employees engaged in public works, recreation, administration, part-time police officers, and conference center staff. We've met twice when the 3rd session is scheduled. We're making reasonable progress. That concludes my report.
Yes, that was
Any questions?
Questions for him? No, I'm waiting questions for him right now. I have a question. Thank you for that, because I was going to ask you a question about the negotiations with our unions. The other one, Sharon, I want to thank you for your great report. Your work that you've done is tremendous. Look forward to that extension tomorrow. Other question, Mr. Lanier. Oh, some questions that come to me about the golf course with catering. We've started catering, and how is that? When did that come about with the catering? So I wasn't aware we had catering.
I wasn't either. I don't believe they were catering. I think at one point in time, a former manager tried to do some takeout services, and it really didn't take off.
Because they were advertising catering.
Yeah.
They're saying it's scrolling it constantly every day, just catering.
We
So
don't cater
we need
outside
to take that
meals.
off then.
Okay.
We need to take that off. All right. All right, trustee?
Yes, okay. My report is, I want to say, Tessie, yeah, I want to say congratulations to Sharice Williams for being elected to the, what is it, the educational school board of Will County. Congratulations, Sharice. Hope you do a good job. I also want to say congratulations to Dee. We love the work that you do here for University Park, so I want to say congratulations to you. I also want to say congratulations to Oscar Brown. You do a good job here when you're here. I also want to say congratulations to Milton Payton, even though you have a long voice. I want to say congratulations to you. I also want to say congratulations to Mayor McCollum.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations to you. You do it your mouth to mouth too.
Thank you.
And I want to say congratulations to Paula Wilson. Welcome to University Park. Just take care of University Park. I'd like for everybody, and congratulations for your employment with the finance department. I wanted to say that I'm not going to give up. I'll be back. Thank you.
Any other reports? Okay,
I just want to say, congratulations, Mayor, on your re-election.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Trustee Payton, Madam Clerk, Paula Wilson, Trustee Oscar Brown, and we look forward to moving our community forward, not just the community of University Park, but the region of the Southland.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Our Clerk D. Jones?
Just the official results we will not get until April 28th. But I think the margin of votes will speak for itself. So the candidates will be sworn in after May 1st, after we receive the official results. The official canvass will be completed by the county clerks by April 28th.
Right. We could call a special and swear them in. We can do a special?
Yeah,
Okay.
after May 1st,
May
once we receive the official
Okay.
results.
Yeah. Okay, anyone? Well, okay, congratulations to everyone. Sharon, great for your promotion. D. Jones, Milton Payton, Oscar Brown, Paula Wilson, Sharice, what else? Star Lawson, and all the other ladies and gentlemen that were on the board for the library board. Congratulations to them. Mr. Mo Brown, yes, thank God for him. I'm so happy that we marched up and down the street, we yelled, but it's good to have someone like that because he is just phenomenal. Now maybe the people will come out to the school board meetings. And we need you. We really, really need you at those school board meetings because that was scary, what happened and what's to come. They have a lot of things planned that you really need to be there in support of. I have a quick report. I attended last time, they have a Hillcrest. It was the first Thursday, March 19th, on Will County Mayor's Governor, with the Governor of Will County and Larry Walsh. On March 20th, Friday, 82 mayors, the metropolitan mayors, was held on 65 West Jackson with the governor. Then later that Friday, we had another meeting with the Will South Suburban Mayors and Managers with the governor. He has talked about this LGDF, and people, please be aware of this right to work thing that the governor is presenting. It was only 3 of us there, but in the Will County Mayors, as you know, I'm the only mayor there. He told them, if you do not abide by my reform, tell your legislators that you will not get this money. awarded to you. The Right to Work Act is only a new form of government that he's proposing, and it's less than minimum wage. So don't get excited when you see that. That's something that we're going to stay on. At Prairie State College, we had a panel with Representative Al Riley, DeLuca, Hastings, Napoleon Harris, Toy Hutchison. We were all there again with another forum last week. I'd like to tell you that it's something that we at South Suburban Regional Black Mayors are getting together, and we're going to keep this in his face. We really have to stay on him about the things that he's not going to do or going to do. 2015, he did bend and abide by some of our rulings and legislation. 2016, he says he's not. So we'll be going down, the trustees will be going down to Springfield for Lobby Day and speaking with the governor. We've already have that set aside. I was at First Baptist, and they had a phenomenal, I wish more people were there, a second annual Justice Film. And it was something that they're working towards, and I want to see that everyone in University Park gets a part of this and support this. Yesterday also at Governor State, I was a panelist with the Health and Disparity Treatment for Hearing. And that was held by Representative Will Davis. That's another initiative that we're trying to go to the governor about, a trauma center. So we will be, yes, South Suburban, well, they don't want to call it that. They say that the people in the South Suburb, they had a plan and they had a study done, but the study was done for Chicago in the South Side. That is not the South Suburb. And they said that most people don't have money out here to pay for a trauma center, so they don't want to even think about it. But thank God for Representative Will Davis. He's going to push it, and we're going to have more, and I will be announcing that and seeing if more of our residents can attend them. Thank you. And that was the end of mine. I will call now for our audience. Ms. Mary Alexander Griffin.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, and to the board. I too want to congratulate you on your re-election for mayor, and to all the other winning candidates. Congratulations and much success to you all. I have several issues, well, maybe a couple that I'd like to address, and it's pertaining to the, actually pertaining to University Park and its services. And one of them is the PACE service. I realized, I thought that the bus was supposed to try to meet the train, you know, when you're going into the city, and it doesn't. There's a train, there's this one particular time, it's at 4:18, that is supposed to meet, you're supposed to take the 4:36. It doesn't get there, it's always late. I've called PACE, and I've asked them, you know, what was the problem. I understand that buses can be late at times, but this is ridiculous. So I'd just like for someone else to call PACE. My second issue is at the Metro train. Is that the responsibility of the Metro Police, or can University Park Police come there at night? Because when you're getting off the train at 10:30, 11:30 at night, and you walk under the tunnel, there's no one there. And there, I've come there, and because I attend the symphony, and when I get off late, there's a guy that's sometimes that's there. You know, he could be homeless, I don't know. But I'm just wondering who, I would like for you to talk to PACE, because I've tried to call the PACE, and I don't know who I talked to regarding Metro. And my last issue is the stumps, the tree stumps. Who takes care of that problem? Because it really does make the community look kind of tacky. Again, congratulations to you all, and I thank you for your time.
Oh, Ms. Griffin, I can address two of the issues. The PACE service, we're in the process right now at the board. We have a PACE service that we've already did a new scheduling, and if everything goes right, we'll have our own bus service. It'll say University Park PACE. It'll run 24 hours, 7 days a week. We will have a ride, PACE ride, and we'll mandate that, and it will cost, we're gonna have a minimum cost for it. It'll be self-sufficient. What it will do is, you see the new PACE shelters? Each one of those shelters, we get $900 and some for. I had them to revise those, and which was a great thing, so we get money for them, free money. So one shelter can pay for one bus for 9 months. So you won't have that problem. I have talked to the Metro, because I'm on the Transportation Committee for the South Suburban area, and there is a Metro guy there, and I will address it because I've been yelling and fussing, but there's a person that told me what to do to get some fire under him as far as rehabbing our station. Because our station has not been rehabbed, it's been overlooked. But it's a person that if I call him, I think he will start acting on it. And so we won't have to have that problem, but I do know, Mr. Lanier, we have a police officer that comes there during the day, but I'm not sure he could address that portion.
Mayor, you're correct when you said we have to spend some more time talking to Metro. It's Metro's property, and they're required to, they have a police force that's required to police their properties. We can assist, but in the evening, no, in our current staffing situations, I will talk to the police department and make sure they're aware of the train schedule in the evening, so we can have someone, there in the evenings, as frequently as possible. We always have someone in the evening during the rush hours, but those late night hours, we can certainly take a look at that also.
I speak of late
Real
evening
late
night.
night.
Yeah, late evening night. We will speak of making sure as they're patrolling the neighborhood that they're aware of the Metro schedule, and that we get some patrols over there at those times too.
And she's correct, there is a gentleman that's there at night, really late. I don't know what he does there either, but he's out there. So maybe
Again,
we
I
can
thank
put
you.
Attention to that, thank you. I'm sorry, Ms. Williams, Gina Williams. Gina Williams.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees and residents. I too want to congratulate everybody on their elections, and I just want to say to Oscar, I was giving him a hard time on election day, but you did your homework and you brought your A game, and I congratulate you on that. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Coach Tutu.
Yeah.
On a job well done. And your time is coming. Your time is coming real soon, and you're going to be a great asset to this community because you set such a great example to our youth and to our community, and we can really appreciate that. I just want to say, especially to all the people that came out, I'm glad you all are starting to come out in numbers because I think we do need to come out, get involved, and hold everyone accountable, because when we have these readings and things and there's holes and gaps, there's no concrete numbers, percentages, this affects us, the taxpayers, and we need to know where our money is being spent. So if it's a towing ordinance, we need to know how many cars were towed last year, year before, how many so far this year. People should do their homework. Be prepared to come in here, because we're looking. And I'm going to encourage people to continue to come out. I've talked to my neighbors, my friends, my family. If you can't come out, watch it on TV, but start getting involved and making sure that you're listening carefully to everything that's going on here and who's voting down or who's passing stuff, and they're not giving enough information. We need to really hold people accountable. And I wanted to ask the question about probably to Liz, because they were saying about Homewood disposal. Are the people that live in the association going to get new containers, or is that just for the people that actually pay a separate fee for disposal?
I can answer. No, people who live in the associations will continue to bring their garbage. I think you bring it to your common parking lot now. You'll continue that same practice. We did not want to give you containers because we didn't see a storage space for them.
Okay.
If you guys want containers, you can call it off and let us know, but they didn't, customarily when the houses are that closely together, there's no storage space for these large containers, so they will not be delivered to you.
Okay, well, I just wanted to know that. But again, thank you everyone for coming out, for voting, and getting involved.
Ms. Mary Smith.
Good evening, Mayor Covington.
Good evening.
Board trustee, I won't go through all
Good
the
evening.
names, but I wanted to congratulate you on your re-election. Praise God. And to the new trustees and the re-elected trustees, congratulations. I've been a resident of University Park for almost 30 years. And we pay a high tax, a very high tax. Property value has diminished. With that being said, with this new toll going in, anything that's going to help the residents, anything that's going to help the village, I'm all for. But to tax the people more than they're already being taxed, I'm against that. Now, if this new towing fees have a specific purpose, I'd like to see that outlined in the bylaws for that. I would hate to see a policeman taking it upon himself to turn what was a citation into a towing. I'd really like and request the board to look at that very closely. things have a way of not, if they're not being monitored, if they're not in writing, being turned upside down. And so I thank you for that.
Thank you. Ms. Allison Smith.
Good evening. I just wanted to congratulate the board members and, of course, our mayor on her reelection.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Ms. Star Lawson.
Good evening, Madam Mayor,
Good evening.
all the trustees, congratulations on your reelection. Madam Clerk, congratulations. Mayor, I just want to say we're so excited to see your beautiful face there and to restore the joy to our community. Thank you. I do have some comments here because I didn't hear anything about repealing of the pay raises for the trustees. The residents are looking to see that that take place and that we're holding you all accountable to do that. The police chief said he was doing his job and the other officers, but they do their job when it's convenient for certain people. And I'd like to ask you to have the police do their job all the time, not just when it's convenient for certain people. May I remind you that we had a police chief doing his job and he was fired. I hope we will release our lobbyists. That's one of the things the residents are looking for that's really gonna cost us. And we've been oppressed enough. Again, don't tax our residents with increased fees. And then educate our residents. When you bring an item up, thank you, Trustee Payton, you give us an explanation and I appreciate that. But we don't always get an explanation. And you know, talk to us as well. I would appreciate talking in the mic so that I can hear you clearly, so that I can understand what the issues are and if I'm to speak to something that is on the agenda. Engage our residents. I want to speak to the $4,500 for Phantom Entertainment, but we can't get our fields prepared for baseball for our kids. Are you serious? We can collect $20 from employees, but we can't make any collections for our baseball. Going forward, I would like to hear more from our treasurer or provide the residents with an understanding of his responsibilities. You mentioned, is this a part of our 5-year road plan, road and bridge budget? I did see that. I saw road and bridge right here for bills payable. But then we're being told there's no road and bridge. I don't understand that. All the,
I'm sorry.
what are we gonna do about the golf center? That I want an answer for whenever you can give us an answer.
Okay.
Because that's just too much in the hole for that. And then my last thing, Mayor, I want to encourage all of the residents to come out tomorrow to that finance committee. There is a lot of things in here that you need to see, you need to be aware of, and you need to be responsible for knowing.
Ms. Lawson, we have to, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pastor Brenda Mitchell. Pastor Dr. Brenda Mitchell. Apologize.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I just truly want to congratulate all of those, Mayor Covington, Trustee Brown, Trustee Payton, and Paula Wilson. I don't have very much to say. I just really came out to say that, you know, I want to thank our village clerk our newly elected village clerk, sorry about that, Ms. D, for allowing me to be able to speak to the issues in School District 201U as it relates to that reelection process. And, you know, I've been here 38 years in this village, and I was part of the process when our then president, he wasn't president, Ed Palmer, you know, signed the legislation to right the wrongs that were happening to University Park out of School District 201U, and busing our children out and not busing anybody into our village because of the color of our skin. So it really kind of perturbed me, you know. Ed was my friend, and he did a lot of good in unifying this community and actually instilling a sense of pride in the things that we did community to community. There's been a lot of segmentation, and I keep saying that in University Park, but I want to be the first one to say that if there's going to be a change, I would like the change to start with me and then let it spread outward. I've already had this conversation with Mayor Covington and other trustees up here. So I just want to see us get back to that little village that took our barbecue grills to Pine Lake with President Ed Palmer and said that we were a unified community, and to bring that back and to understand that there's only one University Park. And we're all in this together. We're either going to rise together or we're going to fall together. So I make the commitment, Mayor, to actually be a part of positive change in University Park. And I am at the pleasure of this board. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Pastor, we have a lot of lists for you. You're very active. Thank you so much. Mr. Stephen Allen, I'll hold you to it.
First of all, nobody gave God the glory. Praise God for everything. And what I want to say, the people of University Park has spoken. And what you need now is to work together. I want to congratulate everyone. Everyone ran a good race, finished the course, and kept the faith. And the people put who they want in. Now it's time for the people that's in to work together and rebuke all them demonic spirits that come in this place, make them stumble and fall, and let's move this village forward, and God bless all y'all.
Thank you so much. And with that said, I move, I'm sorry, come on. Yes, I forgot, I need her to speak. Oh, Dr. Hall, please. Ms. Sanders, from our school district.
We're going to dual team. I want to introduce tag team.
Introduce yourselves and your position, please.
Okay, well, I'm Kimberly Sanders. I'm, what am I? Secretary to the Crete-Monee School District School Board. And this is our esteemed president, Dr. Nakia Hall. Yes. We do come to you with salutation and greetings, and we are honored that each of you have seen your way back to the electorate board of your town. And we are all thankful to all of you who have supported our work in this last couple of weeks to re-elect Maurice Mo Brown.
Yes, yes,
yes. And that is a tremendous feat. We want to just truly say to you tonight, as this young lady, and I can't wait to formally meet you, but the plight that she spoke about is a real plight. We have served on the board. We got on the board together about 6 years ago, and we have worked diligently. I'm a resident of Crete by way of the west side of Chicago, but I am a person who advocates for people, for young people, for kids. I have done so in my capacity as a mentor and Dr. Hall as an educator. And I promise you today that we support you in University Park. What this young lady stated to you, we were in serious jeopardy last Tuesday, April 7th, of losing the very voice that was fought for in 1998. We are continuing to be in jeopardy. We are being targeted. I need you to understand that. We are being targeted as we speak because the election was won, because you spoke. People are angry about it. They are targeting individuals' children. You need to understand that. The teachers came to your community. They had the audacity to come to your community escorted by their police officers from Crete to say to you, we will come here and take your voice. And I'm not so sensationalizing this. This is a fact. If you were on the polls on that day, you saw the attack. And you cannot allow it to continue. Dr. Hall is your representative for some areas. Mr. Brown is your area for some areas. Get to know who your representative is. Be at the school board meetings. I understand tomorrow night is a finance meeting, so understandably so you'll be here. Next Tuesday and every third Tuesday of the month is a school board meeting. You talked about your tax dollars. Your tax dollars pay a good percentage of them, and they can tell you the good percentage is well over, what, 70, 80%. What is it?
75%.
75%. You pay them. Is it okay that students are are passing at the rates in which you can send students out of University Park and say they have succeeded, that they will replace the mayor and the trustees? At this point, no one seems to care that that is a fact. So I just encourage you, along with Dr. Hall and Mr. Brown, they always put me up to speaking, and I really don't mind, because at the end of the day, the message has to be stated. It doesn't matter who says it. We need mentors. We need your voices behind your representatives. Your representatives work for you. That be mayor, trustee, school board member. We work for you because you elect us to speak for, and I'm going to say encourage you. I speak for you, but I want to speak with you. And together, unified in a 201 school district, you fought too hard to have a voice and to not use it. So I'm criticized, just want you to know, for tomorrow's on the agenda is to ask me to apologize to a people for telling you to come, get out and vote, and exercise your right, and do not allow someone to come to your community and take your voice. I will not apologize, and I will not resign my position. I will resign it when I get ready to resign it. You need to know, as well as Dr. Hall, that we are working diligently for you and for your children, and I can't even begin to tell you the things that Maurice Brown does for University Park. I surrender to that man who watches every dollar, every decimal that goes through that school district, and that's why he was persecuted. But I encourage you to come there and let those people know that you stand behind Mo Brown, to the left of him, to the side of him, and you will continue to do that going forward. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm going to encourage board, I understand you can't be there tomorrow, but please do become a board of trustees in University Park for education and educating your citizens and constituent students.
And let them know, too, that we always videotape it as well. Our cable station is always there.
And our board meetings are online at cm201u.org. Me being a resident of University Park, I'm going to make a personal plea, as I always do when I come to the board meetings, to the residents of University Park to stand up and allow your voice to be heard. There's already plans to come from my seat and Mrs. Sanders' seat. And what she was saying was they are planning to ask her to resign tomorrow at our special board meeting. Yes, at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. They are also claiming that another member does not live in the district. So they're planning,
Oh, yeah, they are.
basically, and this is what we deal with on a daily basis. And my issue is we have to get back to the business of educating children and not putting out these small fires all the time. The last time I came a couple weeks ago, I spoke of the issue where we have no longer a current lawsuit. I will celebrate today. We received word that that lawsuit has been dropped.
Good.
So thank the Lord for that.
Good.
But when we say the things that we say, this stuff is real. And like Mrs. Sanders said, for those who came before us, I thank you, 20 plus years ago, and started this fight. We have picked it up. We have committed to it now for 6 years, 2 more years on my term and hers, and we'll stay dedicated to it because our children need that. And we have made that commitment to fight for our students and getting the best education that they can receive. And you will always get that from me.
That's right.
So I ask you all who can come tomorrow night to come to the board meeting. It is at the high school. It is at 6:30 p.m.
Yes.
in the auditorium and to come out and express your concerns, because everybody else has no problem doing the same. So we need to be just as bold to come out and express how we feel about our seats. Thank you all.
Also, everyone, please, 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 you have a question, Ms. Smith?
You said the lawsuit had been dropped. Was that the lawsuit filed by Mogi? Yes.
Yes.
That's been dropped.
Good.
There were continual denials, and then there were appeals. The last appeal, the word that I got was that they decided not to go forward with it. And that was the word I got today. The lawsuit was basically filed 2.5 years ago, I believe, that they were claiming that because we run in sub-districts, which was imposed by law, by a judge, because we run in sub-districts, all of our seats should have been up for re-election every 10 years. However, when you run in sub-district, not by referendum, but because of judgment order, that law does not apply to you. So we have been in legal battle for over 2 years, spending tax dollars for this decision to finally come to an end today.
And we'd like to also thank Mr. Jim Harris for his phenomenal support in this
Absolutely.
fight, because he was one of the regular ones initially. And back to Ed Palmer and his days and what he's done. So those are the pioneers, and Ms. Dr. Brenda Mitchell as well. Those are the pioneers that really made it happen. So we have to give honors to them for that fight.
Absolutely.
I have something here. Anyone would like to see this, what we submitted to the governor and the fundings from the different mayors? I can give it to the trustees, or if you'd like to see it, it's available for your reading. At this point, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn. Move by trustee Rudez, second by? Second. Mr. Payton. All in favor? Good night, thank you, we love you, you can't do anything about it.